Hello and welcome to another edition of Unpolished Stories Speaking Beyond the Spotlight. This is the VSAI official podcast where we talk to speakers from around the world and we really get behind the scenes, beyond the spotlight. We learn about all those unpolished stories that ultimately make us human. And one of the threads that keeps emerging is we're human first and speakers second. We do this as a passion project. We do this to bring these stories to life, to support our members, to encourage collaborative growth across the sector. Joining me today is my co-host, Selena Pierman, and I'm going to hand over to her, and she is going to introduce our fabulous guest.
Chantel, it's great to be back with you for this episode as well. And they have been such interesting conversations, haven't they? You and I think every time just marvel in how those stories go. And I'm excited for this episode as well, just as we spend more time with who I have the pleasure of introducing this morning. Eytan is an internationally renowned expert and lecturer for 17 years plus experience in personality assessment based on facial features, emotion decoding, and body language. The owner of Profile College and the author of The Complete Guide to Reading Facial Features, Body Language, and Micro Expressions. He guides and trains business and security organizations of Israel and worldwide. And yet he, because of that, has specifically asked us not to introduce him further, but he'd rather show us. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited. And I will start with you, Selena. I'm going to say what I see about your face. What does your face tell about your personality? So, first of all, from the one side, you are you have a very strong character, but from the other side, your senses are so great that you can feel anyone, so that you understand people, but just seeing them, so that you have the ability to be very powerful and strong from the one side, and you can be very passionate and understand and see everything. When you decide to do something, no one can stop you. You have this ability and this force to move things forward. You are a lots of leadership qualities. I see very, lots of leadership qualities. You try and be very straight, and not only being straight, when you talk, you don't just say things for the sake of saying things. You are very accurate. Your words have every word has a target. You are very targeted. You do have lots of ideas. You're a person who has lots of ideas all the time, new ideas. You are very, lots of ideas. You know how to make people act and not just behave, but move forward. You have the ability to make things happen in a way. And I can see the strength that you both have together, because you do have some characters which are very similar in a way. You are if I'm talking about Chantel is more open and straight. You're more analytical. You analyze things very deeply, and when you work together, this is a great combination, because Selena brings things out, the energy and all that things out, and she says what she feels, and you analyze things, and you know how to present them very accurately to the world, to whatever you do. You are very independent. You find it very difficult to make people do things, because you take upon yourself too much. And
Well,
that's
darn accurate. Thank you very much. And just the insight, right? And your talents of just what you've been able to do, probably, I can't wait to hear about it for so many others, right? Yes. And I'm going to be
thank you.
human for just a moment because I dropped my questions over here. So
Okay.
there's my human moment. All right. Thank you for just your gift, right? And sharing that with us today and our members and listeners for this.
Thank you.
Just grateful. Thank you. With that, how about if we start off with some questions that we have? All right.
Great.
I'm
Looking
gonna,
forward to it.
yeah. So for this first one, coming from South Africa and now living in Israel, how has your own personal experience of navigating cultures and environments shaped your approach to communication and public speaking? Have any of those personal stories helped you transition, right? And how you influence others? We'd love to know some more about your journey on that.
Great. First of all, it's a very great question. I was born in South Africa, and when I turned 3, my family moved to Israel. And then, just before my 13th birthday, my mom passed away, and my father was deeply affected, and he decided to move back to South Africa. So, at at the age of 13, I lost my mom, and I mean, spending 10 years in Israel is very, very, very important. So I went back to South Africa. It was 1980, and it was during the height of apartheid. And first of all, I had to learn to adapt to this new country, new mentality, new people. That was very challenging, but it was harder because it was my high school years, and that's time difficult for everyone. And on top of that, my father moved me from 3 different high schools, and for the last year, I went to a boarding school in Vereeniging. Exactly, Verenigen. It's like the end of the world, I'd say. Discipline was very, very, very strict. And I still remember arriving at the boarding school, and the headmaster immediately was telling me to have a haircut. And 3 days later, he called me to his office, and he made me choose a cane. Yes, he made me choose a cane. I received a beating, and that was my welcome at that school. So beyond the discipline, it was very, very hard, not just academically but socially. Making friends wasn't easy at all. I learned that communication was not just about talking, it's about listening. People love to talk about themselves. And I discovered being a good listener is a great, great, and I'd say one of the most powerful tools to connect. I also realized that the great charming during those days was impressing the friends' mothers, the mother of their friends. And that was also a huge influence because I understood that that was a great key to making good friends because the mothers have a great, great influence. And if she said, wow, your friend is a great guy, it created a hook. And for me, it was a huge, huge success. And I also loved observing people. When I went to a cafe shop or to a sporting event or to anywhere, I used to watch the people and observe how they behave, how they act, how they cross at each other, how do they act, between each other as a bystander, not as one that participates. So without realizing, I was developing already skills that later on became the foundation of my career. This was the way I created, and it taught me resilience, empathy, and to understand the importance of human connection, the importance that it's work to make friends, to make communication. It's hard work. It's not simple. It's not just saying, taking the WhatsApp and writing someone to someone and becoming a friend with him. It's hard work, and that's what I learned at the beginning of my journey.
Thank you for sharing
So
that.
interesting to
Yeah.
hear. Yeah, it's just so interesting to hear how everyone's got this backstory, right? And it's this backstory that brought you where you are. And I would almost suggest that your cross-cultural experiences has contributed to your ability to read the room, to communicate with people, to profile people quite as accurately as you do.
And to know who you can influence, like moms of friends, right? That's just
Absolutely.
really, we think about just how you use it for good, right? Of just where does that connection mean the most, right? For good reasons. I love that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now I'm going to dive a little bit deeper. You know,
Okay.
has there ever been, and I might be going slightly off script here, but I'm just curious. Has there ever been a time where you have profiled someone and or you've done your magic, right? I mean, Selena and I are blown away by your magic. I think it's great, but maybe not everyone likes it. Has there ever been a time where something didn't go as planned, where the proverbial, what do you call it, hit the fan, right?
Mhm.
First of all, yeah, it's a great question, and I also addressed it during my with audiences. It happens sometimes that first of all, I ask for permission, so I don't just analyze someone and say, "Well, I see that you like this and like this." Secondly, I've created also learned NLP throughout the years. I knew that the words are so powerful. So using the right words is so important because you can say everything that sounds great. You can say about a person great things that on the one side it can sound not great. It can sound very difficult for the person to receive the message, but you can say the same words in a way that he feels great. Now, secondly, the body language also gives me an explanation. Do the person wants to be analyzed? It's like a very, very simple. I asked someone, do you want to be analyzed? Yes, indeed, I want to be analyzed. But his body language or her body language, just by putting the hand says, stop, don't analyze me. So I say to him, well, I understand that you have a very difficult time to be analyzed. It's all right. We don't have to have, you don't have to be analyzed. And you feel the person takes, he takes, he breathes easier. So using the ability to understand what the person feels in front of me when I tell them or ask them to be analyzed gives me a permission to do the analyze, and not just by the person saying yes, because the yes can be yes, I want to be good to you. I find it difficult to say no, but the body language contradicts what he feels or she feels. So I do have this answer for that question, indeed.
And I think that is such an important skill for us as speakers. It's about reading that room. And we've got to learn that
Indeed,
it's not just that verbal communication, it's the body language, it's the energy, it's everything that contributes.
indeed, indeed.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about, you know, things in that reading of the language. I know as a speaker, there have been times I've read the room and I'm like, oh, right. So I think about that when things don't go as planned. What are some lessons learned that you've done in terms of how you navigate that when you've read it and you're like, I'm concerned or I still need to deliver what my commitment is to the audience, right? How you show up in those moments when things are beyond your control.
Hey, it's another great question. In my line of work, skepticism is something I encounter often, especially when I'm speaking to audiences who didn't choose me to come. It's like the CEO, the organizer brings me, and there are certain individuals in the crowd that might be doubtful, even resistant to what I'm going to say. And it's not South Africa and it's not the USA. The Israelis are very, very direct. They are very blunt. If they feel they can come when you say a word, stop you and bluntly challenge me. And the this at the beginning was very, very difficult because when you say and you start explaining and being very nice, and someone stands up and says, "You talking nonsense? Where do you come with this stupid ideas?" So what I did is that I break the speak, and it is a tough situation to handle. But what I did is I said to him, "Well, I know you don't feel it's right. Would you like to come to the stage and I'll analyze you and see if I'm right or am I wrong. And about 90% of the times, the one who stood up came to the stage, or his wife came, or or came to the stage. And when I gave them this analyzing, I analyzed them. They said, wow, this is great. This is great. The way you actually were able to correctly analyze. And that actually brought all the tension down. And the people loved it. It loved it. And instead of going against this person, we can, wherever we go to a stage, I don't know how it's, I know that in South Africa and in the United States, people are much gentlemen, and they know how to behave. In Israel, they are very tough. It's like, it can be very tough when they feel something to say it. And once I handle it in a nice way, like I handle it, things move very, very, very good. I actually challenge the things like greatly. And I love it, actually. I love these challenges.
Well, what a proving ground, right? If you can survive
Ah,
that, you can survive
yeah.
anything. Eytan, I'm going to ask you if you could share a story, a personal story of something that had a profound impact on your growth as a speaker. Maybe not so much as a profiler. We've talked a little how you landed in this career,
Yeah.
but as a speaker, was there something that kind of changed your trajectory, made you look at the speaking business with new eyes?
Um, at the business at the new eyes. Indeed, 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 indeed. Um, I'll share. Let me see what I'm going to share with you. First of all, we're talking about that it's a tough question, and the answer will be very personal. Um, I don't know how it's with you guys, but there's no magic. There's no one day you become a master, everyone comes and say, wow, this is the greatest. It's a hard work. It's lots of engagement, lots of lectures. I remember I heard Anthony Robbins say that when he started this business, he for a whole year he journeyed the whole of the USA, got paid zero, and actually that's the way he learned how to train. So it is a very, very tough. When I started, I had no clients, and I didn't actually know how good I am. It took me years and years of hard work, and the price was very high. The price was high because there was a financial instability, and things weren't easy at home. And my wife, actually, she worked in the American embassy for 27 years in Israel, but um, things didn't work too well at home, because at the end of the day, we have to bring we have to bring the food to the table. We have to pay our share. And I, at first, I thought I understood what she thinks and what she has to say about, but I misunderstood the whole story. I once, I used to actually make my own speech, but I used to actually bring one deafening moment. I brought in a lecture for 250 people from scratch. I actually, made people come, and my wife wasn't involved, and she wasn't into process, and she attended this lecture. I thought that was great, but she was very distant and very resistant, and she was even against it. I felt that she's not with me, and she wasn't on my side. And I said to myself in that evening that I have to make a change. I have to do something, because your family and your friends, and especially your family and your wife, has great impact on your life. And if they aren't with you, things are not going well. And that evening I decided to make a decision. The decision was that the next time that I'll make this big event, I'm gonna put her with me. I'm gonna actually put her on the stage with me, and she's going to help me throughout the journey. And it worked wonders. That's exactly what I did. I shared everything with her. I let her help me to make this event. She was on the stage, and she's a charmer and an analyzer and all that. And since then, she's with me. And the ability, the ability to bring the people that are most important to you to work with you and to help you. It doesn't mean that every day she has to work with me. She has her own, her own things. But this is magic. The impact, the purpose, the fulfillment, the experience brought us close together, and it helped me succeed. And it taught me that being a speaker is not just standing on the stage, is bringing the people around you to this journey. And and
Yeah.
and it's great to share it with you.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. When I said it, I feel actually on
Yeah.
my, in my sound when I'm talking about it, because it did change.
Yeah. I think that's so important for all of our watchers and listeners to understand is you're not the, we may carry that heavy load of developing our business and doing what we need to do from the stage, but that support network is so critical. And those closest to you have to, I mean, there is a challenge there to be bought in and support, because this is not an easy choice of pathways. It is not. And so whoever that is for people, right? Whether it's as spouses or partners or kids and extended family or just close, right? So, sometimes our friends can be that close and closer, right? Just whoever is in their network. We don't walk this path alone. And if someone's feeling lonely, then, we want to be able to offer them support as part of a wider network. But that personal piece, I think about my husband would be mortified if I put him on the stage. Like, that is not his thing. But my ideas, so I can fall in love with ideas. You mentioned ideas in my profile. I'm playing that for him later. But I can fall in love with ideas way too much, right? Which then try and stop me, right? My husband of 32 years would say, if you want Selena to do something, just tell her she can't. Right. But where we've learned, so this is my almost 20th year in this business, I think about how important it is to have him as a partner in this. So he's my ideas partner. When I'm ready to just take something and run with it, it's always better when I run it by him. Darn it, it's always better when I run it by him or whoever is in my network. My kids have been in the business putting packets together and putting, boxes together to go to an event. And I just think about how important that is, whoever is in our network, that we feel that support from that and not turn them down when they go, can I help? Right. And bring them along in it.
And you
Chantal,
know
what do you
what?
got?
Just
Yeah.
listening to the two of you, I am like, oh, I'm so jealous. So I don't have a partner of 100 years, right? But I've learned that that is a deficit, and I've learned that I need that accountability around me. And I mean, Selena, I've bounced ideas off you. I've asked you as a sounding board. Eytan, I think I've also used you as a sounding board, perhaps a little bit less, but I've learned this value of accountability. I've learned the value of that leveraging contacts all the time. And it is so important, whoever it is, whoever fills that void. So I think that's such a valuable
And
point.
your son as well, who is
Your son. Yeah.
part of your success, your great
Yeah.
success.
Absolutely. If I can ever stop the lad and get him off the ship to just talk to his mother for a little bit, he is living the high life, cruising the oceans on the other side of the world.
And you're cheering him on, but still call your mother, right? So we're gonna pull that clip just for him.
There you go.
Oh, I love it.
Love it.
Oh,
I'm going to ask another question, Eytan. I think the three of us are we're very conscious of relationships, and generally people who are very relational speak a lot about legacy. So if we look back on your years of experience and what you've done up until now, what advice would you give to someone who's just starting out so that they can build their own legacy?
Great question as well. Love the question. They're so great. building your legacy. This is very, very, very important, the legacy. And I think, first of all, when we talk about this side of being a legacy and doing something, is knowing what do you want to do in this world, and what do anyone wants to do in the world. Once you don't know what you want to do in this world and what legacy you want to leave behind, you don't have a purpose. You don't have you don't know where the ship will go. And my major legacy is I want to make a not just a stamp. I want to mark the earth with helping people understand each other better. The ability to understand the person that you are connecting to, understanding that people are people, and the people are not liars, they lie. People they're not cheaters, they cheat. People are people, and they make mistakes, and they do, you have it's not that people are bad, they do bad things. And it's not that people are great, they do great things. And once I think we understand that the line of saying a person is evil, he does evil things, but it's not that he's evil. So I think that is very, very, very important to understand that we all have something to do in this world, and to understand that I am here and I find myself helping people understand others better. Like I learned to understand my mother-in-law, that when I met her, we didn't connect. We didn't connect. She used to say everything, all the flaws. Everything is wrong. Everything is bad. Everything. And that's before I learned the topic. And once I learned the understanding, I understood that she's not doing it for being evil or bad. What she did was that she gave her way that she sees life. That's her way that she sees life. And it's from this view of trying to make things better, and not from a place of trying to tell Eitan that he's a bad husband. And once I understood that, and I'm able to tell others or to help others as a teacher, that makes me fulfilled. And I'm not working now. I'm not working. I never work. I enjoy my time. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy educating. I enjoy the trip. I enjoy life, and that makes. I think we should enjoy life. I live in a very difficult country. I mean, 75 years of war. I mean, it's like 75 years of fighting, and I understood that we have to also be able not to let the difficult lives around us make us stop and do. We have the leaders. We have Donald Trump. We have Zelensky. We have Bibi Netanyahu. We have all these leaders that are moving the world. We can do as much as we can on our side, but we have to try and do the surroundings, the people around us, to make them feel better, to have a better life. And if we are three have been able to make a small help, another love for your son or something, to people to hear and see how great we are. You are great. You are great. We are all great, and that makes me, I think, be so happy and cheerful.
That it's where we focus, right? Where we can make an impact, where we can have the difference. And I love the reinforcement of that. We're going to move to our last two questions for the lightning round, if you're ready. I'll ask the
I'm
first
ready.
one, and that is, what is one question you wish we would have asked you? And how would you answer that question?
I remember it's from the United States, when I don't know who it was. I forgot who it did, and I think it was Kennedy. Kennedy said, "Don't ask what you can do for us. Ask what we can do for you." So I'm actually brand new to this amazing VCAI, And I'm asking here, and I think it's also for everyone, how can I help make VCI even greater? What part can I play? What can I do to bring and to make you bigger and more successful? Because your success will be my success. That's I think an important question for me to ask, because I'll receive answers, great answers, and I think the audiences will also receive tools to what we can actually do.
Why don't
Eytan,
I'll comment to
don't
that.
let
Yeah.
Dr. Wendy see this. She's
You'll,
gonna
you'll,
hold you.
you'll be joining lots of boards and committees. No, we love that though. You know, I'll comment, and Chantel, I invite you to as well. You know, I love the way you positioned that, because I think in this, you know, there are many ways we can spend our time, right? And there's been a real effort in recent years, and it's been a while, but just at a global speaking level to really elevate the profession, knowing, right, every time we're in front of 1 or 10,000 people, we can make an impact. And the ripple effect of that is amazing. And VSAI's position as one of those associations as part of the Global Speaking Federation, you know, we are one of the fastest growing. And I know I have a membership in my home country of National Speakers Association in the US, but I was looking for a global conversation, right? And I think, to the example you just noted, as somebody who lives in the USA and is watching global leaders do their thing, and maybe not in agreement with most of what they're doing, I, then I'm going to focus on where I can, and just how important that is for us to have these kinds of conversations that aren't on the headlines and aren't, you know, being published by whichever media. And I think this is where the real magic is. Chantel, you want to add to that?
I am definitely going to take you up on that, but I'm going to take that conversation offline. But what I think is really valuable for our listeners is to stop focusing on what you can do for me, but to really turn things around. And you've done that beautifully by example, and turn the situation around and say, you know what can I do for you? This is what I'm here for. I'm here to serve. And let us not forget, we are speakers first, or we are humans first. I nearly messed that up.
There's our human part as well, right? We knew that was going to show up in this episode. Human first.
There you go. We are humans first, speakers second. And it's all about relating. It's all about serving. So I love that. Thank you for that beautiful nugget there, Eytan.
Yes, thank you, Eytan.
Last question, quick, impactful. If you could give one small, short, sharp piece of advice to your earlier speaker self, what would it be?
What I'm going to say is that, first of all, trust the process and embrace every challenge as part of your growth. In the beginning, I focused on being perfect and making every sure that the word is excellent and great. I think I learned that the true magic is being myself, connecting, making changes, not to fear mistakes. We will make mistakes all the time, and adapt to this time. This time is very, very, very important. And when I'm talking about the time, I'm talking about you have to be there. Okay, if it's VCAI, if it's in the social networks, I mean, engage, not just be present. If there are only 2 people, it happened to me that I was in a lecture that only 2 people arrived. Give them the best, because these 2 people can be your leaders. They can help you move. Trust yourself, be bold, keep learning, 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 learning. Believe in yourself and in the message. And you must work hard. You must be on social networks. If it's TikTok, if it's Facebook, if it's Instagram, if it's doing a live Facebooks or Zoom or webinars, people won't work with you. You are your own team. So that you are your own team, and your team can do everything so great. And a last thing, which for me is very important, the one thing that I learned, that when I go to give a frontal lecture, I'm organized. I come half an hour earlier. I have everything with me. I have a disc on key. I have the laptop. I have different cables, all the cables for every situation. I even have this. I even have this, the JBL, that if things go wrong, and I found myself that I arrived and nothing worked. And if nothing works, it doesn't matter. We don't need all the things behind us. We have ourselves. So if we know our material great, things will work, things will do well. People, as you said, people are people. And if you give them a value and you teach them, you can do it without the presentation. You can do it without all the things. But you must know your things. You must know your work. You must know what you do, because if you don't, you will fail. I think that's like captures quite a lot.
Beautiful advice. Absolutely love it. And just so relevant. It ties into what we've been talking about: people, relationships, connecting, all of that. So thank you for that, Eytan. Selena, I'm going to put you on the spot and I'm going to ask you, what do you see as the theme that's emerged? I know that's normally my question, but I'm turning it around. Come on, girl.
There are a couple of things that come to mind around just the be your own magic, right? Offer what you offer, be really good at what you offer, and then also, it is that connection to others. And I know that's a theme that we see in so many of these conversations, but just the immediate connection when we show up as our authentic self, offering our gifts, right? Our own magic, our what we have to share with the world, we connect in more meaningful and deeper ways.
Absolutely. All about connections. Eytan, it's been a real pleasure to host you. Thank you so much. Selena, as always, thank you for being such a spectacular co-host.
I agreed. And to all of our watchers and listeners, on behalf of Virtual Speakers Association International, thanks for coming on this journey with us. We hope that if you are new to learning more about VSAI, you consider membership. If you have questions about that membership for any of us as task force chairs or on the board or other members, please join in an event or an activity to learn more. We would love to share and welcome you into this global conversation. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.